What's up, y'all? It is your boy Kirk here, aka Vandal, and we are here in the studio, and this is another track walkthrough. Let's get it. So we're back here in the studio, and I know it's been a while, but I've got a bunch of tracks coming up this year, a bunch of tracks we're working on, and I'm going to do a ton of walkthroughs for those. And then also, I might be doing music videos. So if you guys are new here, I do tips, tricks, tutorials, those kind of things to help you become a better producer in today's marketplace. So I am going to show you guys what I do. The best way I can show you is showing you guys what I do. So if we check out my screen here, let's check this out. And I'll put myself down here. All right, so let's look at the screen. This track is called Work. As you can see, everything's very color coded. I am about that life. Definitely like to have my tracks clear and color coded. So this is Work. This track dropped January 1st. If you guys have not heard it, check it out on Spotify. It's going to be up there, or maybe in the description somewhere. I don't know. It's going to be there. So let's get back here. All right, so we are in the session here. As you can see, it's only about 35 tracks. Now, it's a very small session, and it's highly based off of one thing. If you find yourself inspired by something on Splice, like a loop or something, I don't think it's a bad idea to just go with that. I'm not such a purist in the way of like you have to make every single loop. If you're talented enough to do that, then you should totally do that. But anyway, so let's jump into this and I'll show you this. Okay, cool. So right now, the loop that actually inspired this beat, it's really more of a beat. It was this loop right here. And it's pretty like, it's totally like this really cool like loop, you know? And I used it as is. But what I did do now after that was add things on top of it, like these other weird loops. So you see, it doesn't really matter what you're doing inside of the music. The only people that are going to pick out things like that, like, oh, I know where that loop is, are the people who are producers, and maybe even like record label executives, if it's like too obvious. My whole thing is use these loops, but use them as a starting point. Don't use them as the final thing that you end up doing. Don't do that. Don't just like take like a fully built music track out of Splice and then use that. Like, I just feel like that's not creative. I feel like that's just kind of using what's there and putting puzzle pieces together. But if you take the loops that you have and then kind of like either expound on them or add to them, it could be really cool. So that's the loop, right? And that kind of sparked the whole idea. And then what I really wanted to do was, and what I felt led to do by this loop was make this just like kind of like a slow hip hop banger. Because right now the drums are only at 120, everything's at 125. So that's super slow. 125 BPM is not fast at all. So if we look at the drums here, as you can see, all the drums, we'll take the 808 out. All the drums are in blue here and soloed, so let's listen to them. Okay, so now let's talk about the actual loops that I used here. Now, like I said, I'm totally not opposed to using loops, but you got to do something different with them. So one of these is a decap loop, and I think it's this. But it doesn't, this is what it sounds like. So what I did was I put this step thing, this is in Logic, this thing is in Logic, so what I want you guys to see is that this, you can easily take this and kind of do your thing with that, you know? Hang on, is my lower third on there? Oh, I'm on the top. Okay, cool. You can easily, I just had to move my thing down. Anyway, you can easily make things sound different with just using this. And it gives it another sound, and it doesn't sound exactly like the loop. So you change your loops in that way, and you kind of like make sure that you just change them up. You just do whatever you can to make those loops sound a little bit different. So, okay, so let's go here and let's listen to the other loop. The other loop is this. Now I use this loop as is, because now in combination with this, it just added a really cool thing. And then now when I add my drums that I added in, my loops, got the straight hi-hat, but it's actually not straight. If we look at it, it's off of the grid. It's a great way to make your drums bounce, put it off the grid, right? So this whole video is really more focused on like how much I've used loops in this track and how much I've been able to kind of use these loops as a way to kind of like inspire creativity. It's so important sometimes like to just do stuff like that, because this track I didn't think it was going to be that, and then it ended up being something crazy. So yeah, so I totally encourage using loops. So anyway, let's go into the next section here. The build is very simple. It's just the drums with some
Coach, turn these in.
I'm gonna actually mute the vocals. It's super simple. Drum fill. And now the main thing that's kind of driving this, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even show you this. Let's show you that. Okay, so the main thing that's driving this is obviously that, right? And then the actual synth lead right here, this build, which I learned this from Lumberjack when I was doing one of the remixes. He was like, take the lead sound and introduce it into the build so people kind of have something to anticipate. So I've been doing that a lot more, and I think that's a really great way to make two sections kind of meld together, because this drop is completely different than the rest of the track. It's so weird and out there that it's that it's important to make sure that actually translates over. So okay, so okay, so cool. So that kind of goes into that, and I'm really pumped about this, and I'm really psyched that you guys are here watching this video, because honestly, it's really dope. So in the next video, we're actually going to talk about how I did the drop and all of that stuff. I know you guys probably want to hear that, but this first video is just a teaser. So next video, I'm going to actually show you how I did the drop. Catch you guys in the next video. If you guys haven't already, consider subscribing, and check out my Spotify as well if you want to, if you're into that sort of thing. So anyway, all right, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.